Hi, and welcome to episode number 5 of Libations with Linda. I'm Linda, and today with me is my daughter Jay, and that's a phrase I never thought I'd be able to say. So thanks, Jay, for doing this today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And our post-Thanksgiving libation is Strongbow Honey Apple Cider, which is one of our new favorites. And so cheers.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And that is good stuff.
Doesn't taste bad one, man. Good stuff.
So today our topic is talking about what it's like to grow up with lesbian moms. And that's something that Jay has firsthand experience with. And so she's going to give us she's going to give us her insight on that today. So I guess my first question is, at what age did you become aware that your home situation was different from most of your other friends?
I would say about 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
I got the discussion of there's 2 women in these households, and they're both your parents.
And that came.
And that was pretty much it.
And that came from Laurie?
That came from Mom.
Okay. And up until that, you didn't realize that was unusual?
No, not at all.
So what was your reaction to that? Was it just like, okay? Or
I guess it was okay. I didn't see it as anything different, so it was just kind of like, all right.
Yeah, I already
Can I go outside and play now?
Okay. Yeah, it's like, I already know this. Why are you telling me?
Yeah.
Okay. What about when you got to school? Was there a difference then?
I would say that growing up in elementary school, I didn't know what that meant society-wise. So I would say something that I wouldn't care because I didn't know anything different. I didn't know anything was supposedly wrong with that. So growing up had its few moments of bullying.
When did that start? When you were in elementary school or later?
I would say elementary school first. And then it came to the point where, as I got older, I figured out who my friends were, if you will. Mm-hmm. And to those people, it didn't matter. So me telling them that, hey, I've got 2 moms, wasn't a big thing. They're like, all right, has nothing to do with me. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
At what point did it ever become an issue for you where you were, you tried to hide this from anybody when you were in school? Or was it just always out there and you just had to deal with it all the time?
I think it was mostly out there for what it was. Mm-hmm. I don't recall a specific time where I'm like, oh, I'm not going to tell Joe Blow for whatever reason.
And there was never anything like telling your closer friends, oh, don't talk about my moms. Okay,
no.
So it was always just there. And how bad did that bullying ever get? Was it ever something that became a major issue for you, or was it just the occasional thing that happened?
I think it was more of just the occasional thing. Nothing too drastic. I think there may have been one incident when I was younger. But even the outcome of that particular incident ended up becoming friends with that individual, and I guess it was because of lack of knowledge of what was really going on and how life really was or whatever.
You mean on the part of the kid?
On the part of the kid, correct.
Yeah.
I mean, the outcome ended up being a positive thing, maybe not the initial reaction or the initial event.
Okay. When you started to get older and you started to go through puberty yourself, how did your mom's situation influence your own sense of your own identity? Did you feel any concern that, well, Mom's a lesbian, so does that mean I'm going to be gay? Or did it free you up to just explore who you were? Or did you feel like you had something to prove to her? or to anybody
I don't think I
else?
had anything to prove. Mom was always very accepting of the people I chose as my partner. It was more of a you'll figure it out on your own type of thing. There was no you must become a lesbian or you're going to be the straight daughter or whatever. There was none of that. It was you do your own thing and you'll figure it out eventually type of spiel.
So Laurie's attitude was one of, you're you, I'm me,
Yeah.
you're going to be who you are, and that doesn't have anything to do with who I was.
Correct.
But did you feel any, I guess, any concern yourself or any confusion about, how am I supposed to be?
No, not really. It was one of those where I kind of figured out I wasn't really attracted to a particular person. It was more of I find myself liking the person as they were, like character-wise, versus she's got pretty hair and a nice rack, or he's awesome looking and he's fun to hang out with and he has special extracurricular sports activities or whatever. It was none of that. It was more of, okay, that person's a cool individual. I can have a conversation with him. I can see common interest. And that was more of the basis for the relationship versus a physical attribute.
So I don't want to put you on the spot, and if I'm asking a question that's too personal, that's just let me know.
No,
But,
you're good.
But, in the process of growing up, did you feel free to then explore who you were, and how do you, now that you've gotten to this point in your life, how do you identify yourself?
It's kind of hard because it was first. I did have a little bit stronger feelings towards women growing up, especially towards like in the high school and being in college, and it was kind of interesting because the first girlfriend I brought home wasn't really home, it was college, and she came down to visit, and I was like, oh, Heather's joining us for lunch tonight. Is that a name?
That's okay. Nobody will know who that is.
She was just like, she kind of just sat and hung out with me, and I didn't introduce her as girlfriend, but it was kind of blatantly obvious that she was the girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember she went to go to the bathroom, and my mom asked me, was like, are you two a thing? And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, okay. Just wanted to see. So, I mean, there was no real, like, pressure, but it was kind of like, I didn't want to just come out and be like, hey, here's my girlfriend. I just kind of let her figure it out, too.
But obviously, since I've known you, your relationships have been with men. So,
Yeah.
At this point in your life, do you think of yourself as bi or straight, or do you not think about it at all, actually?
I'm not really into terms. I don't really know what the proper term is. I think I'm still more attracted to who you are as a person versus the physical attributes.
So that kind of sounds like the classic definition of a bisexual, somebody
Yeah.
who's could theoretically end up with somebody of either sex. It's just the person, not the sex, that's the primary factor. So if we had to put a label on it, I guess that's the one that we'd end up.
It's fine with me. I don't really care.
Yeah, it
It's
doesn't.
just whatever.
Yeah. So as you went through all of these points in your life, and obviously you're an adult now living on your own, how has it been when, have you ever gotten any pushback because of who your mom is from other people in your life at this point as an adult?
No, I can't say that I have, just because of, again, with the whole, I know who my friends are.
Right. Somebody who pushed back
So-
obviously probably wouldn't be part of your
Right.
life very long, knowing you.
Yeah, no. It's kind of one of those take it or leave it. I don't really care, if you've got a problem, you know where the door's at. So, but I'm grateful for the friends that I've got who have welcomed and accept myself and my family as they are. I guess I'm blessed in a way as far as that's concerned.
So I didn't come on the scene until Jay was an adult, so I didn't get the pleasure of actually raising her, and that's probably good for her.
I'd probably be in a lot more trouble.
But the question that I have, and talking about this more in the kind of abstract global sense and in the individual person sense, but in terms of being raised by women who your mom was with at any particular point in time, and I know some of those relationships were quite long, how was it for you? Did you think of them as your moms at times, or did it depend on their person?
I would say yes and no. Even some of those relationships that didn't pan out, you know, as a child growing up, you know, you're going to think of the adults in the household as your parental figures.
Mm-hmm.
So that would include mom's significant others at the time. I think that there were some good points, bad points, but not really until recent events, until you kind of showed up. That's just how you roll. It's kind of one of those, it wasn't more of a parental figure until I saw my mom happy, and that's what you brought to light. Like, I've never seen my mom this happy before, and so I'm proud to call you mom number 2, or mama number 2.
Now she's gonna make me cry.
No, don't cry. No tears. No tears. No tears. But as far as those other individuals, I think that, yes, they played a role in how I've grown up, regardless of whether it was good or bad or indifferent. Each of them has
Shaped
certain
you in
qualities.
some way.
Yeah. Just like any other kid who has several adults in there.
Okay. So if there was anything that you'd want to say about the subject that I haven't managed to ask, is there anything?
Be happy.
That's always a good thing. Well, let's talk about the Strongbow again.
It's good stuff. It's a little warm in here.
So Strongbow is made in England, so this is an English cider. And the honey gives it a very distinct taste compared to other kinds of ciders. It's a very definite honey taste. And if you've had mead, this kind of has that kind of mead-like quality, but without being
At the Renaissance?
Yeah, without being as dry as mead is. So it's a bit more accessible. Like, mead is not something that I enjoy, but this is very, very good. It's a little bit heavier than most ciders, though, so it kind of...
I disagree. I don't know. I think it's a little lighter for me.
Okay, well, then apparently the jury's still out.
It's still good, though.
So of the ciders that you've had, do you think this is up near the top of them? Or?
I would say this is probably closer towards the top. I'm a big fan of Crispin also. They have a honey one that's pretty good.
They do.
But I would say that this is definitely up there with the group of ciders.
Okay. Anybody, if you're looking for a good cider and something that's a little bit different, Strongbow Honey Apple is an excellent choice. So thanks for joining us today. We hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We certainly did. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.